Hello, it's been a while since we posted our last video, so I thought we would kick off with some new products we got from Videx, which are touch free. So obviously where infection control is required, or just generally about, you don't want to be touching things these days with the COVID situation. So we've got a touch free exit button there. Let's give you a close up of that, which is sort of simulated stainless. They supply the setting in box as well if you want to recess that in the wall, and the surface box as well. So it's quite a neat looking thing. Okay, and that's the sensor in the middle. It's like an infrared sensor. The other unit we've got is this rather nice audio intercom system. They do a video system as well, again with that same sensor in there, so you don't have to touch the panel to actually make a call. So first things first, we'll kick off with the touch-free exit button, and I'll just wire that up and we'll put it through its paces in a moment. So I'll see you in 5. Okay, so I've just wired it up as per the diagram, which you can see the connections there. And literally we've got plus and minus coming into there. We've got the common, which is the grey wire. Normally open is the brown, and the yellow is normally closed. Okay, so I've just got 12 volts on there. I've got a little buzzer as well, just so we can make a tone so we know it's activating. So I'll just show you the back of the device there. So that is what you have, and those two little blue units there, those two little pots, they are what set your distance for your infrared sensor and the actual time that relay will close for. So one's called VR1 and one's called VR2, and it goes through it in the booklet as to how you set those. You can even do it latching. When this came, it was actually set to latching mode, so as soon as we activated it, it just stayed there buzzing all the time. Right, so if I just demonstrate that in action, so there you go, so you don't have to touch at all. Now obviously if you want to extend that gap, so I'll just try and show you how far away my hand is if I possibly can. So obviously if you over adjust that sensitivity, then you're probably going to get some false alarms with it detecting things that you don't want to, so you don't want to go mad, particularly if this sensor's outside on the video system, rain, snow, that kind of thing. You might get some false activations with that. So it comes at about 3 centimeters setting when you get the unit delivered. So so there it is. So quite a nifty little piece of kit. I think the relay is about 1 amp. Does go through all the settings on here. Yeah, it's a 1 amp 30 volts DC maximum, so that's the relay activation you've got on there, and it's got some various diagrams as well as to different uses. It suggests you use an MOV if you're having a lock release on there. They don't actually supply that in the kit, so you know, worth having a stock of those as well. But there we go, nice product. And there's full instructions on how to operate it, but only 12 volt DC. It's not going to work on your AC, unfortunately. So there you go. Right, I'll just give you a close up of the back of the switch. So the lower pot, VR1, that will adjust your time between 5 and 20 seconds, or latching if you turn it all the way around. And VR2, that will affect your range, so that will adjust between 3 and 15 centimeters on that detection range on the front. So that's just a close up of the back of the switch and the wiring diagram there. So moving on to the O system, again the same sensor as we mentioned before, and that is already wired up in the back there. So if you give me 5 minutes, I will wire this up and we'll give it a run through. Right, so I've just wired the audio kit up. They're very tiny screws on the amplifiers, they always are, so I've got a Videx screwdriver here, but that struggled as well. I mean, they really are quite tiny screws there, so worth bearing in mind. And you've got the cables for the infrared unit and the power going into quite small terminals there. But having said that, it's fine. You can wire that up. Right, so I've set that at the lowest setting now, so let's just see what we get when we put the power on. Right, that's better. Okay. So we might need a bit more than that. So let's just clock that up slightly. That's just sort of one chunk up. So that's better. So there you go. So what I think we'll do to test this is, I've got to give this back so I don't want to break it, but I think we'll take it out into the garden and try and simulate a rain shower, because we've got quite nice weather out there today. So I will attach this to the fence somehow and get the hose set up, and you can join me in the garden. Okay, we're out in the garden. I haven't tried this at all in advance. As you can see, the unit is very dry. We'll just test the old touch-free thing. There you go. And that's on the factory setting that it came, so obviously it's about 3 centimetres. I'll just turn on the hose. It's very bright out here, hence the glasses, and we'll simulate a rain shower. So there you go. And that sensor is not activating. It's a good thing. So there you go. If I spray it right on the sensor, still nothing. So that's fairly good evidence that that's not going to false trigger, and that's on the lowest setting. So obviously if you're going to ramp that distance up, you might get some false calls, but no, it's looking fairly good. So that will conclude the test. So just to be absolutely certain that we're not missing anything, I've cranked the sensor up to the furthest distance away for it to operate. So we'll just do the old hose trick again. So there we go, it's quite a distance now away from the panel, and let's see what we get. So again, not bad. I mean, that's not activating at all, but oh, there we go. So we can get it to activate after a lot of effort, but yeah. But that is on the highest setting, so you're going to get false activations, I would imagine, if you've got that 15 centimetre gap. But no, that's not doing too bad, I think, really. Maybe if you get snow, it might be slightly different, but I mean, that's a lot of water going over there, and your average shower is going to be up here, and you're not going to get that coming over that face because of the lip where it's set back. So it's very unlikely you're going to get that direct kind of jet of water like that. So you can see that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good test there. Look at that. You're not going to experience rain like that in the UK, really. Mind you, with global warming, who knows? Oh, there you go. That's looking pretty good. Right, so just to be clear, I've just found the documents, marked technical documents, in the bottom of the box. So we have in fact got the switch instructions, the same as before, and we've also got a rather nice diagram as well, which is quite big, so you should be able to follow that quite happily. So yeah, so it is all in the box, so I didn't see that, it's right on the bottom there. So excellent. Okay, that wraps up our test. For handset identification and wiring diagrams, check out our Finder tool at intercomsrus.com, or you can buy via the online shop.